Why do most languages use either chai or tea to describe this beverage? Over 5,500 years ago, according to legend, Chinese Emperor Shennong was sitting by a tree drinking a bowl of boiled water when leaves from the plant fell into it. He drank the new beverage, surprised by its taste and restorative properties, giving birth to tea. Tea was then drank in China for several thousand years for medicinal purposes, only being used as a social and cultural drink by the 8th to 9th centuries. During this time, the Chinese character for tea was standardized in most of China, pronounced as cha, combining the symbols for grass or tea leaves with person and tree. However, not all of China pronounced the character for tea in the same way. In most Chinese dialects, such as Mandarin, cha was used, while in other dialects of the Min language group, specifically Hokkien from parts of the southeastern coast, it was pronounced as te. This distinction is incredibly important. While most of China used cha, one of its most prominent coastal and trade regions used te, explaining how the two words spread to the rest of the world. Tea soon spread outside of China through the Silk Road, reaching India and the Middle East. With time, the drink, traded as compressed tea bricks, found its way to Persia, becoming chai in the local language. The inland tea trade spread beyond Persia, going to North and East Africa, Anatolia, Central Asia, and Eastern Europe. When describing the drink, locals of these areas used the words they had learned from the traders in Persia, calling it chai or a variation of it. Two exceptional cases of cha-based names are Japan and Korea, as they adopted the words for tea directly through contact with China, rather than through the Silk Road or Persia. Therefore, instead of using a variation of chai from Persian, it's called cha in Korean and ocha in Japanese. But what about tea? In the 16th century, the Portuguese arrived in southern Chinese ports and interacted with locals through trade and missionary work, discovering tea. The drink found its way back to Europe, and by 1610, the Dutch East India Company was the first to begin shipping tea from China to Europe on a large scale. The drink soon gained immense popularity among the wealthy. Of course, like with chai from inland trade, they used the word they learned from where they got it from. In this case, the Dutch and most Europeans traded with speakers of Hokkien languages from the Fujian area, calling it te. This explains why much of Western Europe, alongside the islands traders passed through and settled on, uses something similar to describe the drink. As Europe colonized the world, they brought tea to many areas. This explains why South Africa, originally settled by the Dutch, uses tea in Afrikaans, but Swahili in East Africa, which likely adopted the word from the Adroan Empire's participation in Indo-Persian trade routes, uses chai. An exception to this is Portuguese, which uses cha to describe tea. As previously mentioned, they traded with southern Chinese ports, so you'd assume they used tea. However, the ports in question are from the region of Guangzhou or Canton, which spoke Cantonese, using cha instead. Thus, to describe tea, these countries use a variation of te, while these countries use a variation of cha. This is for a simple reason. The people they interacted with to obtain the drink spoke differently. Cha-based countries, besides Portugal, Japan, Korea, and some others, came into contact with tea through the Silk Road, adopting the word from most Chinese speakers who called it cha. Te-based countries, on the other hand, came into contact with tea through maritime trade from the port of Fujian, whose locals called it te, subsequently spreading the word across the globe. So why your language uses either word as a result of history, making tea a great case study for etymology. Thank you for watching. If you want to support the channel, like and subscribe, or even become a member to receive benefits like custom emotes and shoutouts at the end of my videos. I appreciate all of your help.